play. This is Dudes Who Bet Sports. Dudes Who Bet Sports, it's your favorite show. Dudes Who Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Dudes Who Bet Sports, time to change your approach with Aaron Haldeman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.
Well, the Associated Press is full of shit.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dudes Who Bet Sports Show. A little bit of a weird situation here as we get going. My computer froze right as we were getting ready to start. Not sure what website is causing it to freeze today, but it's kind of wanting to do it again. So, Papa Dude, you may be by yourself here soon. Are you ready and prepared for that?
You better believe it. I can do it.
All right. Well,
Maybe.
we've got a very fun show today. We're kind of going to reset from all the Breeders' Cup stuff for one show at least and go over college football in the NFL. I'm going to get up on the screen now. We'll get it kicked off, ready to go here. Like I said, internet giving me, not internet really, but my cute computer giving me a little bit of a problem. There we go. Okay, now if I make it a little bigger, it will be ready to rock here as we work through the technical difficulties. There we go. Okay. We're good to go. Let's get it going, Papa Dude. Let's get it started off here. We'll go through the college games first. We'll kick it off with Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. It is Bedlam for the final foreseeable time. Oklahoma 5.5-point favorite here at Stillwater, over under at 60.5. All right. We'll kick it off with this one. Where are you going?
Well, the first thing I'm noticing, look at that ticket price.
Yeah.
$281. I wonder if this is a big deal at Stillwater on Saturday.
Right.
Oh, do we have to start with this one? I have zero confidence in our team. I don't know about you, but I know we're running into a buzzsaw, and I don't know if we're good enough to overcome it. I just don't know. I don't know if we have enough offense. The problem with OU that I see in their offense, they can't break any long runs. They can't break a long play. And when we went into Stillwater with our backs against the wall before, we beat them with long runs, long pass plays, things of that nature. We can't do it. And I don't know if we can drive the ball. I just don't know. They are vastly improving. I don't think they're great. We aren't either. The key will be, can we stop the running game? Because they have a running back that is extremely good, and he's playing great. And can we stop him? If we can, we're going to win. If we can't, I don't think we are. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I think that's the key. I think OU does stop the run pretty well. It was really just a conservative game plan last week, and if they bring that up to or down to Stillwater, or I guess it's up to Stillwater for Norman, they're going to get beat. I think OU's going to have to score in this game a lot of points to win it. I do think OU stops the run pretty well. I do also like Oklahoma State has been a lot better. I don't think they've been playing that great of competition. I think that is a good thing for Oklahoma. That being said, I have to take the Cowboys and the points. You look at the games over the years where these two teams have been evenly matched. They're usually pretty close when they're in Stillwater. I'm going to take Oklahoma State plus the 5.5 this week. I think it's a coin flip game. I think it's a 3-point game one way or the other.
I agree. And, we had stopped the run real well until last week, and we did not stop the run. So that's got to be a concern because our best run stopper, linebacker, I don't think it's going to be 100%. Mm-hmm. I think he'll probably try to play unless it's worse than what they're saying at this point. I haven't heard that he's out. But he's been the best player on the team, really. If he doesn't play, that's a bad deal. Now, Gentry Williams is practicing, I heard. Mm-hmm. He's the cornerback that didn't play at Stillwater, which really hurt us. That will help. But that defensive front, which has been tough against the run, is going to have to play better.
I think that's the biggest disappointment with the OU defense is their front four just was very dominant against Texas, and it just hasn't been since. Yeah. The last two games, they have not been very good, and they're going to have to be good in this one. Mm-hmm. And, obviously the play calling, it is just Oh my gosh, I would hate to be Jeff Lebby this week. It has been everybody that's got a YouTube shows all over him, and for good reason. So how will they open it up? Can they open it up? Things like that this week.
I'll just say this: I wouldn't want to be him either, but he's making over $1 million a year. So you know what? When you're making that kind of money, then you're open to criticism. It's not like getting all over a high school coach that's barely getting by.
No, I know, but still,
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
It's a tough week for that.
It is.
Look, I always tend to lean towards especially people that have been successful in the past. I always tend to lean towards, there were some bad play calls. No matter what you say, they were bad. But the overall game plan, sometimes you have game plans because you've got deficiencies. And I think part of it is he might be protecting some stuff that we just can't do, that I think some of our fans maybe think or want us to do that we might not just be able to do. But overall, you got to go for a first down when you got it to seal the game away. So there's two sides of it. He was poor, and I just don't think our team can execute a lot of the stuff.
I agree with a lot of it. We don't have a solid running back. We do, but he doesn't play half the time, and then he got hurt. And I think we win the game if he hadn't got hurt. I really think we would have, because they had no answer for him. And I don't think we can go deep. We don't have a deep threat. I'll give him that. But I think we got a guy that can catch a 5-yard pass. Mm-hmm. I think we can throw a 5 or 6 yard pass. I would hope.
Yep.
And not even try to do it, and then come out and say the strategy was to run the ball and have Kansas use all their timeouts and then give them the ball back with over 2 minutes to go when all they needed was a field goal. If that was the strategy, then the whole coaching staff needs to be fired as far as I'm concerned, because that's ridiculous.
Yep.
It's just ridiculous. If it'd been different if you were ahead by 7 points, but you were ahead by 1.
Yep.
They had over 2 minutes left, and we're going to get the ball on the 30-yard line. Well, they ended up punting and got it on the 20, and all they had to do was get to where they could kick a field goal to win. Of course, they did a lot more than that. It's just ridiculous. It's just that if that was the strategy, that's pretty poor.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's definitely the case. I mean, it was a horrific way to end that game, and like I said, I don't think everybody's to blame for it. So it's. I think what happened, they probably played a little over their heads down at the Cotton Bowl.
Oh, I do too.
It's probably who we are. But I think this is a team that can go beat Oklahoma State. I don't think they're that good, but they got to go do it, and that's going to be the key. So,
well, I'll tell you another thing. Everything they did at the Cotton Bowl is going to be forgotten if they lose this game.
Absolutely, and that's not really fair, but that's just how it is. And, when you win a game like that, the expectation level get a lot higher.
Yeah.
And people forget this was not a very good team last year.
No.
Even sitting at 7-1 after Kansas, they're a much better team.
Mm-hmm.
And, to me, this is a season that's going to go one way or the other based on this game, because if you win this game, then you've got 3 games that are very winnable after that.
Yeah.
You're still 11-1. You're still going to the conference championship, but if you lose it, it definitely going to feel a little bit disappointing.
Right, and I totally agree with what you're saying. We should be thrilled with where we are.
Yeah,
but the beating of Texas raised the expectation level. Had we went down there and got beat by 6 or 7, we would not be feeling the way we are right now.
Yep.
And let's face it, before the season started, we said if we could go 9-3, we'd take it right now.
Yep.
And so we got to realize we're not as good as we were at Texas. That was just one of those things.
Yeah, I said 10 wins would be very, very good, and we still got a good shot at that for sure. So, we'll see. This would be a huge win for Oklahoma, though. Huge win.
Yep.
I'm going Oklahoma State. All right, Ohio State and Rutgers. Ohio State 18.5-point favorites on the road against Rutgers. They're having a nice little season there at Rutgers, but they got a big-time challenge here with Ohio State. Trap game a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah, a little. I think Rutgers has run up a 6-2 record against basically teams they should beat. I don't give them much of a chance. I don't. I got to be honest, I haven't seen them much. Wisconsin gave Ohio State a battle because Wisconsin's really good defensively. I don't know how good Rutgers is. It is a lot of points. The game's a lot like what Ohio State's been playing against teams like this. Are they going to be able to cover that? And if they do, when will they happen? It's usually late because their offense is not very good. It's okay. So 18 and a half, it's on the road. They didn't cover last week. I don't think Rutgers is that good. I'm going to pick Ohio State this week to cover.
I think they cover. I think they'll dominate Rutgers. I think Rutgers is a good team, well-coached team, but
Yes.
I don't think they are going to be able to match up.
I don't either.
Yeah. Give me
I don't think they're
Rutgers.
strong
Give me
enough.
Ohio State. Yeah.
And another thing is a lot of people are bitching that Ohio State got the number one place in the college football playoffs so far. I don't see much wrong with it. I mean, they've got two really good wins.
There's one poll that's meaningful, and it's not that one. It's
That's
the
right.
last one.
That's
So
exactly right.
just
So it
doesn't
really
matter.
doesn't mean anything.
The Oklahoma people are going crazy that they're 9. It's like,
Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
doesn't matter. None
Let
of
me tell you
this
something.
matters.
The Oklahoma people need to shut up because we do not belong in the playoffs. There's some way we got that 4th spot. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't even want to think what it would be.
Well, we know what it would be because we've seen it before.
We've seen it. That's right.
All right, let's move on to Kansas State and Texas. Should be a good game here. This is a big one for the Big 12. Believe it or not, K-State, who I remind you won the Big 12 last year.
That's right.
They're back in the driver's seat if they win this game here in Austin. Texas is a 4-point favorite. Malik Murphy, quarterback once again this week. He was pretty solid the first week he started against BYU last week. Kansas State's kind of found their identity. They're kind of flip-flopping quarterbacks here and there. You don't really know who's going to play for them. What do you think? Do the Wildcats have a shot in Austin this week?
I think they have a really good chance to win. K-State's one of those teams. They did not look good early in this season, but man, they figured out something, and they've turned it around, and they've been demolishing people since the Oklahoma State game. Texas they better be ready to play, because K-State can get on a roll. They play well on the road. Their form of play plays well on the road. Yeah, -4 at home. I'm a little shocked at the line. I thought it would be 7 or 8 at least.
Yep.
So there's a lot of respect for Kansas State. The Texas quarterback is still sketchy. I'm going to pick them to pull it out. And I think with the line being 4, I'll go ahead and take them to cover. But I think Kansas State's got a good chance to go in there and beat them.
I think a lot of this with Oklahoma beating Texas in such a huge win, I don't think that Oklahoma team is really capable of beating a really, really good team, right? I think the other flip side of it, now that you see what Oklahoma is, Texas is good. I'm not sitting here saying I don't think Texas is very good. I think they're good. I don't think they're great. And I think that's why you see that line. You kind of watch it. Now, last week, that was pretty impressive to beat BYU like that. Yep. But a lot of these other games, they've been closer than you might think. So that being said, I'm not a believer in Kansas State. And it's a team I've seen, and it's just like, I don't think they're that good. I don't think they will go to Texas and win. Give me the Longhorns here. I do think they cover in this game. Let's move on. A&M and Ole Miss. This is a kind of a tricky game. Ole Miss is another. Kevin B said the Texas line seems weird. This line seems weird too. Ole Miss is only a 3-point favorite at home against an A&M team that I don't like very well. Meaning I don't think they're very good. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, I'm surprised this line is only 3. I don't think Mississippi gets respect, and for some reason A&M does.
Yeah.
I don't, and it's always been this way. They just are the same team every year. They'll rise up and play good one week and beat somebody, and you think, wow, they've turned the corner, and they go right back where they are. They're 8-4, 9-3 at best. That's their best seasons. They're very seldom or they go 10-2, but they get respect every week from Vegas. Ole Miss should cover this. And I think they're going to be ready to play this game.
I mean, I don't know how you couldn't be ready. This is a huge
I
game.
Can't either. You're a top 10 team.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to be ready for this.
I feel like they beat them pretty easily, honestly. I do. I'm just this A&M team. They're sketchy. I mean, they've had some bad losses. They've had games they don't play well. They do have a few games where they looked pretty good. Like you think about the Arkansas game. Yeah, I laugh. I know it's Arkansas, whatever, but I'm gonna tell you, Arkansas at that time was playing teams like Alabama close, LSU close. They didn't play A&M close at all.
No.
They kind of outplayed, talking about A&M again, kind of outplayed Alabama for a lot of that game. I know they lost, but they were there with a shot. And then, they lose games like at Miami where they get blown out. So
yeah,
I like Ole Miss in this game. I think they get it done.
Yeah, I think this line, if Mississippi was at Texas A&M, okay, I could see that.
Yeah.
But I just think Mississippi's going to beat them.
This is a look-ahead game. They do have Georgia the next week. They're talking about Ole Miss. I do agree with that, but I don't know. When you're Ole Miss, I don't think you know. I think they'll be ready for this game.
Yeah, because I think they're dreading the Georgia game.
That's kind of what I was getting at. Without I don't think they really believe they're going to beat them.
They're not going to beat Georgia.
Where if it's Alabama, and I don't think Alabama could beat Georgia either. But if it's Alabama, it's more of a we got Georgia next week. Forget about this A&M game. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I kind of feel like that a little bit. All right, let's go on. Notre Dame and Clemson next here. Another one, only a 3-point line here. The game is at Clemson. I personally think Clemson's awful. I don't think Notre Dame's great either. I took the Irish begrudgingly. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, I think the line's crazy.
It's weird.
Yeah, and then, again, it's because Notre Dame has not shown a lot of offense. And even in the USC game when they scored 48, USC gave them most of those points. So, Clemson's going to play hard. This is about the last game left for them to get up for. Mm-hmm. But I lost last week. North Carolina State handled them pretty easy last week. And it's not a real good North Carolina State team either. No. I'm going Notre Dame to cover fairly easy. I think they beat them by 10 or 12.
Yeah, what do you think about I agree. What do you think about the Dabo hot seat situation here? It's getting pretty bad. I've been very adamant on this show. I just don't believe he's a guy that is willing to run a program kind of how you have to run it. What do you think about this?
Then he's going to have to change. Okay.
I don't think he's going to.
Then he's going to get fired. But I don't think it's this year.
No.
It's a fact. And I agree with him. I wouldn't want to go out and have to do that kind of stuff either, but it's the times.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it is. And he's going to have to do it. And, the old school stuff doesn't work.
It doesn't.
And the bottom line with Clemson is, though, they don't have a quarterback. They've got to get one somewhere. Mm-hmm. They're probably okay other places, but they don't have that guy that can move them up and down the field like they've had. Look at their scores, guys. Yeah. They have a quarterback. They're probably undefeated, and they don't have one. And that's the difference with Clemson. Even with Dabo not going into the transfer portal and doing stuff, if they had a quarterback, I don't know if they'd be undefeated, but they probably would have lost one game. They had Florida State beat, for God's sakes.
They did. And that kind of questions what you think about Florida State in a way.
Yeah. I mean, they're close.
You simply execute a field goal. You probably a short one at that. You probably beat Florida State.
Yeah. So, you can criticize them for not developing a quarterback. I just don't think they've had one.
They've had highly recruited kids, and I think that's kind of another thing that gets you in some trouble. And maybe they just weren't very good, but when you get highly recruited kids and then they don't come through, that really gets the fan base angry because they've been sold, hey, we're going to be good. These guys are good. And then they get on the field and they're not.
Yeah. And then you can't win and you start, they don't know how to develop players.
Yep.
There's a guy at Jacksonville, I believe, played at Clemson. That's pretty damn good.
Yep.
They developed him all right. They've had a few down there that they've developed. So I don't think that's fair, but they got to get better offensively.
Yeah.
And if they fired him, this year, that'd be crazy.
Yep. I agree.
But
All right.
he better start winning some games.
He needs to, yeah. UConn and Tennessee is next here. This should be an easy win for Tennessee. Yeah. Not much to talk about there. I thought this line was interesting. Yeah. Arizona State and Utah. Utah's just an 11-point favorite here at home against Arizona State. They're playing a little better, but I mean, Utah only being an 11-point favorite, that kind of shows you what, the line makers think of this offense there at Utah.
Absolutely. And they watched the game last week, and is it me, or do you feel like Utah got it handed to them, and they now realize they are not very good on offense? Do you kind of think they might regress a little bit the rest of the season now?
I don't think Utah's very good. How about that? I point to a game that argues that with me. I don't think they're a bad team.
No,
but I don't think they're very good. And I think
they're as good defensively as they have been.
I think when you are a defense and you constantly have to defend, and you're playing a game when it's not USC, and if you give up 20 points, you're probably going to lose. I think that makes a defense worse. I think
it does.
I think football goes hand in hand, and the best friend of a defense is an offense. And I think that's a lot of the problem. I just don't think they're a very good team. And I think they're like a lot of teams. If you don't have a quarterback, it's really, really tough. But I guarantee you, if they had Cam Rising, they would be maybe one loss team and looking really good. I know they've only lost 2. I think they're going to lose a couple more.
Oh, I do too. Because I think they got exposed by Oregon, and Oregon may be the best team in the country, or one of the best. So it's no disgrace, but they got dismantled. They were pretty fortunate to beat USC. They really were. And I think they're getting exposed now, and they may, like you said, I think they're going to lose a couple more before it's over with. Right, this game I think might be close. It might.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of confidence in Arizona State. I think this is a game they might be able to turn them over and maybe cover this, but they're just what they are.
Yeah.
Like I said, we went through the schedule last week. It's just like I got a lot of respect for them. I don't think they're an easy out, but if you're a pretty good team, you're going to beat them. I think that's kind of the way I look at that one. All right. Army and Air Force is next. Air Force 18.5-point favorite here against Army. Air Force trying to remain undefeated. This is not a good Army team. Any trouble for Air Force here?
I don't think so. You know what? They're pretty good.
They are good.
They're pretty good. I watched a lot of that game last week because it was in the snow. I kind of like to watch in the snow, a game in the snow. And I don't think Colorado State's very good. But Air Force, they're pretty solid all over the field. I think the Mountain West is down a little bit this year. A little.
Yeah.
This is a team that could very well go undefeated.
Yep.
They've got a great chance to go undefeated.
Yep.
And you know what? You go undefeated at an academy, you've done something. And I think they roll Army. Army is down. They lost to Massachusetts last week at home. Now they're going to get ready to play this one, but they're not going to beat Air Force.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Air Force gets it done pretty darn easily here. Missouri and Georgia. Georgia is a 15.5-point favorite here. You've been banging that Missouri drum. They are 7-1, much better. They're up to number 12 now. What do you think? Do they give it the Bulldogs any kind of scare?
Have you ever seen a quieter 7-1 team?
No, I have not.
I bet if you lined up 100 people somewhere in a Walmart in Texas or anywhere except maybe here, probably even here in Missouri, and you ask what's Missouri's record, you might get 5 that say 7-1. Even if you gave them multiple choice.
Yeah.
They've been very quiet about it.
Yep.
7-1 is 7-1. I don't care who you are.
Yep.
If it was at Columbia, I would give them a little bit of a chance. Remember a couple of years ago, they went in there and Georgia did, and Missouri almost beat them.
Yep.
And Missouri wasn't as good as they are this year. I think they're going to give them a game, but I don't think they think they can beat them. I don't think they can match up front. Give me Georgia.
Georgia will win this game by 40. That's my prediction. Missouri is a fraud at 7-1
on that one.
Listen, Missouri's a fraud at 7-1 and 7-1. And Georgia, when they play somebody that people are like, oh, I don't know, it'll be close, they're murdering them.
They are.
They will murder Missouri. That will be a bloodbath. So if you don't want to see a murder live on television, go watch something else at 2:30 on Saturday. Maybe the Breeders' Cup. All right, let's move on. Florida State and Pittsburgh next. 21.5-point favorite for Florida State. Pittsburgh, what do you think? Any shot for Pittsburgh to pull an upset?
I don't think so. They're very bad. It'd just be at Florida State. Oh, they're not going to lose. Yep. They might beat that line just because Florida State may be bored to tears.
Yep.
They had Wake Forest last week. Ho hum. Now let's go up to Pittsburgh. Ho hum. I can see us being a little sloppy going into that one. That's a lot of points, but they should cover.
They might be a little asleep, but I do think they win. I don't know if they'll cover it or not. I don't, it's just one of those games. I don't know that there's a whole lot to bet in that one. Penn State goes on the road to take on Maryland. Penn State just an 8.5-point favorite here on the road at Maryland. Maryland's not playing very well. They're kind of doing what Maryland always does. Good start, horrible middle, barely make a bowl. I mean, that's kind of their program. What about Penn State? I don't know. They did not play very well against Indiana. They could have kind of been hung over a little bit. What do you think?
They were hung over, all right. They almost got their ass beat.
Yeah.
They did not play well at all in that game.
A resident Penn State fan says James Franklin needs to be put in prison.
Wow.
Look, I think they're going to bounce back and play a lot better this week. I think they're winning this game, right?
Well, has he committed a crime that I know of?
He lost to Ohio State is the only crime he's committed.
So now you can be put in prison for that. Okay. That's hilarious. That's college fans for you, man. That's the way I feel about Jeff Levy too. So I hear you.
Yeah.
I don't think he should be put in prison though. But anyway, yeah, they should bounce back. I don't know though. They're not. They're just not. He almost killed me.
And B says he almost killed me. Attempted murder.
That's pretty funny. I think they cover, but I wouldn't bet on it.
It's amazing how many people are emailing me wanting the betting Bible right now. All right, let's move on here to the next game. I've had 10 since we've got on there. All right, let's go to the next game. Virginia Tech goes on the road to take on Louisville. Louisville, boy, they looked really good last week for sure. That was a big-time win. Speaking of attempted murder, that was attempted murder against Duke. Now they are at home taking on Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's playing a little better.
Yes, they are.
How much better? We're going to find out. What do you think? Louisville just 9.5, so not favored by a ton here.
No, it's because they're Louisville. I thought they bounced back, played great last week. They proved something to me. Virginia Tech is playing. By the way, people emailing you for those Bibles, that's a good thing, isn't it?
It is a good thing, yeah. It's definitely a good thing. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. So keep emailing him. Keep emailing. Bad news is they're not ready yet, right?
The bad news is it's not out, and the other bad news is just read the website and just see where it says it's not out yet. We'll let you know as soon as it's out. But anyway, go ahead.
We'll mention that a time or two through the show here.
It is exciting, though, that people are excited to get it. That's for sure.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll go Louisville to cover this. I don't think Tech's got enough offense to stay close enough. So I think they win by 14.
All right. 14 points for Louisville as I write another email. I'm with you. I think Louisville wins here. I'm not a huge believer in Virginia Tech just yet, but they are better. They're better than they've been. They were bad. They had really gotten bad. It's getting better, I think. All right, Tulane and East Carolina. East Carolina, you said it last week, one of the worst teams in that conference. Tulane, they're still rolling 7-1. They've only lost to Ole Miss. 17-point favorite. Like I said, who you like here?
I like Tulane a lot. I love to watch them. I watch the last part of the game. They're not as good as they were last year. Tulane's not. Yeah. And the conference is not as good as it was because they lost, some of their better teams out of the conference. So it's a little easier for Tulane this year. They're not a good 7-1 team. I don't think they should be number 24, to be honest. They should cover this up if they're ready to play. So I like Tulane in this one.
Tulane for me as well. I don't like East Carolina at all. They're just not very good this year. They're usually a better team than that. I don't know what's going on. California goes on the road to take on Oregon. Cal scored 49 last week on USC. I bet they score 10 this week on Oregon. Oregon 24.5-point favorite. Who you got here? Listen, before you answer, other than your obvious, hey, Ohio State, Michigan winner, okay, and obviously Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I think Oregon's third. I think they're that good. I know they got beat to Washington. I'm saying at the end of the day, I really like Oregon.
Yeah.
So who do you like though in this game?
Yeah, I bet they wish they had that Washington game back, and they may get them again. So I like them a lot too. They're going to kill California. This won't be worth turning on.
No. And they're getting this the second week in a row. They get a team that false confidence playing USC, and then they get them, and they're like, "Oh, here's reality. This is what a good team is." Oregon big. I'm with you on that one. I like low key. This is a fun game.
It really is.
Kansas at Iowa State. Iowa State was dead. They were dead. They went to Ohio and couldn't score type of dead. All of a sudden, they're sitting at 5-3, 4-1 in the conference. They take on Kansas, who beat Oklahoma last week. It's in Ames. It's at night. Iowa State's a 2.5-point favorite. I think this is going to be a great game. Who you got in this one?
Don't you think Kansas should be favored?
No, I actually like Iowa State in this game.
Well, then that really was an embarrassing loss last week. You really are admitting how embarrassing that loss was.
I think if you want to get back on OU for just a second, I think when you take out the Texas game and honestly the Iowa State game, that may have been their best game. They played great that night.
They did.
Oklahoma went to Cincinnati and won by 2 touchdowns, and it was a 1-touchdown game for most of it. And Cincinnati's awful. SMU came to Oklahoma, and it was a 1-score game for 3 quarters. And I get SMU's not a bad team, but I mean,
no, they're not.
It is what it is. Central Florida is not any good, and they could have beat us. I just think the Oklahoma team is a pretty average bunch that's kind of playing above what they are. I
do too.
Despite what you say, I do think they're a pretty well-coached team. And I don't know. I just think that Kansas, you look at Kansas's other games, when they didn't have Jalen Daniels, they weren't very good. So, I do think it was a bad loss. Anyway, I'm taking Iowa State. Who you got?
I think that coaching staff at Iowa State is as good as it gets. I do. They found a quarterback. Yep. And they didn't have any choice but to play him. And he is a stud. He has played extremely well.
Yep.
Since then.
I like him.
And I think I'm with you. This is a trap for Kansas. How do they get ready to go play after beating Oklahoma? It's a night game. Iowa State will sell the damn place out. They always do.
I'll jump in on that because I've been to Iowa State for a game, and I was very like, this is whatever, right? And we got there. That's a big-time atmosphere.
It is.
Those people are loud. They're into it. It's like a miniature Arrowhead Stadium. I was so impressed. And they were horrible last year, but they were fired up. This is going to be a wild atmosphere. I promise you that.
They're 4-1 in the Big 12 right now. They are in the hunt to win the conference.
Look, if they win this game, they've got a great shot at it. Now, not to say they're going to do it. They still got tough games left, but they're in the not the driver's seat, but they're right there with a chance.
And I'll say this: I know you know more Iowa State fans than I do, probably, but I do know a couple, and they are the most realistic fan base I've ever seen. They know what they are. Make a bowl game, and you've had a good year. And if you can make go a little bit above that and get a really good bowl game, you've had a great year. They don't have any aspirations of winning the national championship. They know that's not going to happen.
Yep.
So they're going to be fired up and ready for this one. This is a huge game.
Yep. I'm excited for it. Who you got?
Iowa State.
All right. We're both going to take the Cyclones, so lock in the Jayhawks there. I really like it. I don't think the Jayhawks are that good. I don't think they're bad. I mean, it's a good story. They're decent, but I don't think they're that good, and I think Iowa State will go get them. And yeah, it's like this is the thing with college football. You got to be careful of it because if you watch Iowa State play Ohio and play Iowa, they didn't look like they were going to win a game. No. They looked awful. They came to Norman off of those awful games, and even though we beat them pretty badly, I thought, you know what, we're playing really well, and they look decent. I think they're going to be okay.
It was
I thought maybe they'd get 5 wins. You know,
it was 21-20 at one time.
Yeah, and again, we played a really, really nice game. We were really sharp that night.
Yep.
And they were decent. They just couldn't match it. Like it's almost like they caught us at the worst time. We were really playing well. But I'm telling you, they're pretty good. Keep an eye on them.
Yep.
They're going to beat some people that maybe they shouldn't. So we'll see how that rolls. All right, Purdue at Michigan. That's next. This should be just a bloodbath, right?
Yep, another bloodbath for Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan just rolling over people. We'll go now to Washington and USC. Listen, I know we've kind of hilariously railed on USC. Here's the situation. Washington the last 2 weeks have not been very good. They have not been very good. What?
They've been USC.
Well, I mean, they're not giving up 50 points.
Well,
but
they did to Stanford. They gave up like 45.
No, I thought that was like 45 to 32 or something.
No, it's like 45 to 42.
Okay. I'm going to have to challenge this. I think you're wrong. Hold on. Let's look here.
So.
Okay. 42 to 33. Exactly what I said.
Really?
Yeah, it's 42 to 33.
Okay. That's still pitiful.
Either way, no, it wasn't good. That's the point. And in the week before, Arizona State really should have beat them. So Washington's not playing very well.
No.
USC's not playing very well.
No.
This is a season absolute saver if USC can get it, even though they still got tough ones left. But if they were to beat Washington, that'd be a huge win for them.
It would.
I'm leading USC in this game. I'm leading USC. I think if he's got any kind of control over the team, I think this is a rallying cry this week.
I think it all depends on Caleb Williams.
Yep.
Is this okay? They're not going to be in the national championship. There's no way.
No,
they can't. They got 2 losses. They can still win the Pac-12. They win this game. They are in the hunt to win you realize that? To win the Pac-12.
They need help. They're probably still not going to.
Well, they'd have the head-to-head over Washington.
Yeah, but they still have to go to Oregon.
They still got to beat, but I'm saying they got a shot.
Well, they would definitely have a shot.
If you beat Washington and you beat Oregon, you're going to get in the championship game.
Definitely true. They would have a shot. That's a fact.
So,
yeah.
As bad as they have played.
Yep.
One of those losses had nothing to do with the conference, and I think Riley has tried to point that out, and nobody wants to listen to him. But that is true.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is another fascinating game involving them. Their games have been fascinating.
Well, it's a backloaded half for sure. I think 2 weeks ago, I would have said Washington's probably going to win this thing double digits, but man, I've watched a lot of their last 2 games because I thought they were going to lose them both, you know? So it's one of those, there were 2 games where it's like, I'll flip it. I always keep eye on the scores, right?
Yeah.
And you got in your mind, I'll flip it over there if it gets close. And you're flipping it over there and you're watching it all. So
I don't know whether they're bored.
And that very well could be. Yeah.
But you can be bored 1 week, but to be bored 2 weeks, that's an issue.
And Robs, I think this is going over. I don't think Washington has much of a defense. And
well,
so
I'll tell you something.
I think it's going to go up and down.
If it goes, I think for USC to win, it has to go over.
Oh, it has to. I agree.
Because it's got to be 50 to 47.
Has to. Like that. And that's the thing I keep thinking in my mind. Okay, yeah, Washington's not playing all that good, but California scored 49 on this team. And And Utah scored 34, and Utah's no good, but
No,
on offense,
not on offense.
So surely Washington will come out here and be able to score.
If USC is going to win, they're going to have to eliminate the turnovers. They've been turning it over and doing silly stuff that doesn't help their defense at all.
No.
I love the Lincoln Riley quote. Well, we knocked down that 2-point conversion when we had to. The defense came through. That sounds like what it anyway.
Which, by the way, if you saw the scoring play that made it 50-49,
oh
my God, that's horrible. Anyway,
I know.
Go ahead.
I know. I'm going to go ahead and take Washington, but I'm not going to be shocked if USC wins.
Yeah, I'm going to take USC just to jinx them again for another week. But Lincoln Riley is the king. I mean, the absolute king of all kings at winning games that you felt like you lost.
Yeah.
That all the time at OU, we'd win and we'd be so mad.
Yep.
And it's like, well, and he'll go, well, we're winning. And it's like, well, that's true. They did win, but they were awful,
Yeah.
So,
I know.
The California game definitely equates as a win that felt like a loss.
Yep.
LSU, Alabama. This one's the main thing of the night here. Alabama 3-point favorite. This is always a really good game between these two teams. I mean, it's just always a battle. What do you think about this year? LSU's got the offense to go in there and score a lot. They also have a defense to give up a lot. Huge game, huge
Great
ramifications. Game. What's going on in this one?
Man, we got some night games this week, don't we? Some good ones.
I really wish OU was at night, but go ahead.
You may not. You may be.
OU is right in the middle of the Breeders' Cup. Awful.
Yeah, I know. I know. The very worst time.
The very worst time.
I can't bet against Alabama, so give me the Crimson. I just think they're going to figure out a way to win it. I don't know how good LSU is. I just don't.
Yeah.
I can't bet against Alabama, and it's only 3, so give me the Tide.
That's the same. I feel the same way as you. I feel like it's going to be close. I feel like it feels like LSU might win. I just think Alabama finds a way. They feel like a little bit tougher of a team than LSU.
Yeah.
When the chips are down, I think they'll make the plays to win. I'm with you. Give me Alabama. All right. Oregon State goes on the road to take on Colorado this week. Oregon State coming off of a loss. They're 6-2. Colorado coming off of a couple of losses. What do you think? Any chance for a Buffalo upset?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. I'm not high on Oregon State at all.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of the Colorado game last week because that was my parlay, that part of my 9-team parlay.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they played hard. I think they try. I don't know how the quarterback can walk at the end of games. My God, he just gets killed. He has no time to do anything.
Deion Sanders tried to tell everybody. He said we're pretty good at our skill positions, which I think they are.
They are.
We got nothing on the lines. He didn't say it exactly like that, but he said our big boys need work, and they do.
They do.
Yeah.
Both lines. I think Oregon State will win if they're ready. They're coming off a loss. That really hurt them. That was a loss they needed to win that game. And by the way, Arizona, which we're going to talk about in a minute, is pretty good.
Yep.
And Colorado could ambush them. They could. I just don't think they're good enough. I just don't think they can hold up.
I think Colorado might cover.
Yeah,
I could see ourselves after the Breeders' Cup hanging out, just messing around. We look up and Colorado's ahead 17-7.
It's possible.
And then they hang around and they lose by 7 or 10.
We're talking about a team though that was UCLA turned it over 4 times in the first half the other day. Still were ahead.
I know. I know it was bad.
Yeah.
I do love that. He's just like, these guys won't be here. We'll have new players next year. Maybe after the last game of the year to say that. Come on.
Deion needs to learn that even though you think it, you don't say that. You might tell them in the locker room. You don't do it in a pretty much. Okay, you guys, Here's what you say: you either start playing better than what you're playing, or you ain't gonna be here next year.
We'll get new players.
You don't just go on the press conference. Well, they won't be here next year anyway.
Who cares, right? All right, last one. You mentioned it. Arizona looking for back-to-back home wins against a ranked opponent. They've been pretty damn good this year. They really are much, much better. They take on UCLA. They're 6-2. They're ranked number 19. I don't think they're great.
No.
UCLA -3 to round out the night. I'm going with the upset here outright again.
I think this is prime time for another one.
Mm-hmm.
I think UCLA is decent. They're totally different than what they usually are. They're pretty solid defensively. They hit you. They're pretty physical. Usually they're not. I just saw Arizona against USC. I haven't seen them at all otherwise. They should have won that game. They're pretty good. They really are. Yeah. So, if you're going to pick an upset, this is definitely one to look at for sure. Can they do it 2 weeks in a row? That's the only thing.
I think a general theme, whether it be the NFL or college, poor quarterback play.
Yeah.
A lot of these teams just don't have great quarterbacks. And UCLA kid, he was supposed to be really good. He got hurt, and it's just like, he's not very good. They don't have a good quarterback. Oregon State, they don't really have a good quarterback. And it makes you ripe for upsets. Yep. And I think that's kind of what's happened here. So I don't know. There's some young guys, but they're not looking all that good to me out there right now. So we'll see. I'll go Arizona another upset. Picked them last week. I'll pick them again this week.
They've had a heck of a turnaround. I'll tell you.
Yeah, they're very respectable. Very respectable. All right. Good news is I was able to change to the NFL without my computer freezing, so you're not going to be by yourself. That confirms.
Oh, that's good, because it'd be difficult for me to talk about the NFL very long.
Let's say, it's time to run through our NFL games and just make fun of the teams we always like to make fun of. Let's talk about Titans Steelers to kick it off. This is what we've been waiting for. Titans Steelers on Thursday night. Steelers lose last week. They'll try to bounce back here against a more manageable opponent, the Titans. What do you think about this one?
Well, how do you even begin to handicap that? I have no idea.
I don't know.
Do you? Do you have any idea?
I think Pittsburgh. I would lean Pittsburgh.
Only because they're home.
Yeah, Titans quarterback looked pretty good.
Yeah, he did.
He did. I mean,
they played good.
Yeah.
I don't think Pittsburgh's any good. I don't
either.
But if I was going to pick, I'm going to pass because I don't have enough confidence in Pittsburgh. I don't. If I was going to bet, I'd take the Titans to win the game. But
yeah, Kevin Spee's right. I'd rather watch paint dry than watch the game.
Kevin, let's see how many of these games we can say that about as we go down through here.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'll keep a running total. So this is one that we don't. Let's just say don't want to watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's one.
I would think this is going to go on the other total where we do want to watch it. Dolphins and Chiefs will kick us off from Frankfurt on Sunday morning, very early in the morning here. Dolphins, Chiefs. Chiefs are a 1.5 point favorite after one of the worst football games I've ever seen any team play in Denver. That was horrible. What do you think about this week?
Well, here we got a marquee game, and look where we're playing it. Frankfurt, Germany.
I don't know how marquee that was. Whew.
Well,
it is. I know it's big.
You look at the records; it's a marquee game.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
I don't know what that was with the Chiefs. I have no idea. But you know what? They ain't been playing worth crap offensively. They have not. And their defense played all right.
Yep.
But Mahomes has no time to do anything. I don't know if if he's getting hit more than I've seen him get hit.
See, and Jared tried to argue with us, and I'm like, dude, he's like, yeah, he's taking the least sacks at everybody in the league. I said, it's because he's running around like a maniac back there, and he's unbelievable and can avoid the sacks. So this offensive line is trash.
If he was a mortal human being, he would be getting sacked 10 times a game.
Yes. If you put Mayfield with that line, it would be unbelievable how many times he gets sacked.
I mean, how many? He goes this way, and he goes that way, and he turns his back and goes backwards, and then he goes the other way, and he's out of it. It's unbelievable.
Yep.
but he's not playing great. But
No.
my God, he's running all over the field. He looks frustrated to me. They don't have a receiver other than Kelsey that they can depend on. I think it's obvious. They got some guys that have speed.
Yep.
But they drop balls. They dropped a couple the other day. I don't think he has much confidence in any of them. I think they need to try to run the ball more, but they don't. But this is the kind of game the Chiefs come out and play pretty good in.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to play a lot better for sure.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
You never know what the trip's going to be, which team adjusts to it better. But I'm taking the Chiefs to win because Miami has flunked the test twice. I think they're going to flunk it the third time as well.
I think that's the biggest problem when Miami's been in big games, they've gotten beat. But I give me Kansas City, but boy, that was horrific. And
it really was
so bad. All right, let's keep going here. So one we want to watch, one we do not.
Now, this is two in the other category.
Two that we do not want to watch now. Vikings and the Falcons. Vikings without Kirk Cousins. So their quarterback situation's a mess. Desmond Ridder is hurt for the Falcons. Who knows what's going to happen there? 4.5-point favorites for Atlanta because of the injury, I'm sure. And as Kevin B said, Heineke versus Jaron Hall. I will watch Harry Potter for the 12th time instead of that game. What do you think? The 4.5-point favorite for Atlanta?
Well, that would be Harry Potter for the first time for me, and I would rather watch the football than that. But anyway, what a tough blow for Minnesota.
Yeah,
because they were starting to play. They were really playing well, and he was playing on really well. Now it's just a tough blow for Kirk Cousins and Minnesota because I think they were getting ready to maybe win that division. They're still going to have to beat the Lions, but they were a playoff team, in my opinion, in the NFC till he got hurt. Mm-hmm. So who is their quarterback? Any idea?
Jaron Hall. He's a rookie.
Jaron Hall.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard of him. Have you?
Nope.
That's not a good thing.
Nope.
I heard they were trying to trade for Jameis Winston.
No, they ended up getting Joshua Dobbs, who
That's
just got benched. He just got benched in Arizona. Yeah.
Holy moly.
It's bad.
But Atlanta's awful. They're awful.
They are awful.
Go in there and win that 10-7.
I don't think they're going to. I think the Falcons are going to, because here's the deal. Desmond Ridder to Heineke really isn't that big of a deal.
I would have Heineke over Ridder anyway.
Well, that's debatable for sure. But
you know what, though? He plays pretty well at times.
At times, yeah. Yeah.
I think they win, but I think the Vikings keep it close.
Okay. So you're going Vikings?
No. I think it's going to be like 13-7.
Okay, so you're going Falcons.
Yeah.
All right, two we want to watch. Here's the number. Or two we do not want to watch. Here's the third we do not want to watch. Yes. This game almost makes you want to vomit just thinking of it. The Cardinals, who have Toon at quarterback this week, but
Toon,
Mr. Toon.
I've heard of him.
Yep. He will go up against the Browns, who are 8-point favorites here at home with PJ Walker. I'm guessing they would be insane not to keep playing Walker and to play that other idiot who just won't play basically for him. What do you think about this game?
You mean the guy that's making all that money? You're not going to play him?
He literally won't play. He's cleared to play and he won't play. I mean, it's incredible. But anyway,
it's so funny.
What do you think of this game?
I think the Browns win because the Cardinals are just terrible. So give me the Browns.
I think the Browns will cover. Yeah, Browns cover.
The Browns aren't bad.
Another game that's just horrible. The Rams and the Packers. The Rams are horrible. The Packers are probably worse. Green Bay, a 3-point favorite. Who you got in this one?
How are they a 3-point? Give me the Rams.
Well, there's no Matthew Stafford. Stafford's out.
Oh, he is out.
Well, I mean, it sounds like it. Yeah.
Okay, this will be another one like 14-10.
Yeah.
I ain't picking the Packers. They're god awful.
They're awful. I'll take the Rams. I'm with you. Okay, the snooze fest continues. The Washington Commanders go to New England to take on the Patriots. I mean, these are awful football teams, right? I mean, Patriots are 3.5-point favorite. Who you got?
Give it the Patriots. Let's move
All right.
on.
I'll take the Patriots. Are you excited for
Another
this?
one. Are you kidding me?
The Bears go on the road to take on the Saints. I mean,
How do you get excited about? What do you need to be the play-by-play guys, the announcers that have to drum up some interest when you're talking about them before the game starts?
yes, it would be awful. It'd be terrible assignments. I will say this: the Saints, I think, are decent.
Yeah, I do too.
The Bears are not. So give me the Saints.
Me too.
Okay. This one's a good game. This is a very good game. Seahawks on the road to take on the Ravens. Two really good teams here. I think this can be a really good game. Ravens 5.5-point favorites. Who you got?
I really like the Seahawks a lot.
Mhm.
They're just gritty. They're tough to beat. Baltimore's up and down, up and down, up and down. They usually play good against pretty good teams. It's at home. Give me the Seahawks plus the points, but Baltimore might win.
Give me Baltimore. I think they're gonna cover. Give me Baltimore minus 5.5 in this one. I think being at home really gonna help them. That'll be a good game. Finally, Buccaneers and the Texans. That's next. Woohoo! What a game this is gonna be. Houston a 3-point favorite here against Tampa. Any thoughts?
Who knows? I mean,
I
thought Mayfield played good last week.
Yeah,
I did.
I thought he wasn't bad. I think he's playing okay.
He's playing okay. He's again on team signing good.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I thought he played pretty well. Can't remember who they played. Buffalo, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, honestly, if Godwin turns around on the Hail Mary and finds the ball, they would have won.
That's
because
right.
He put it right there. And for however it happened, nobody for Buffalo jumped up.
and why does the
receiver
receiver
the ball landed on Godwin's feet?
And why is he not? Why didn't he turn it around looking for the ball? I don't
know, but if he does, he catches it.
I know.
And they went for two before. They could have kicked the extra point and won 25-24.
Yeah.
But anyway, they weren't awful in that game. I think if they play like that again, I think they'll beat Houston.
I do too, and it's a game they have to win. So give me Houston.
All right, let's keep going. The Colts go on the road to take on the Panthers. Yeah. Another just wonderful game here. I mean, I almost think the Panthers might win.
I do too. I'm taking them.
Okay, we'll take the Panthers. Take an underdog, 2 in a row there. Oh, this is a beautiful one as well. The Giants, who are just fantastic. They go on the road. Worse. Oh, these games are so bad.
It's even worse than I thought.
It's so bad. The Giants on the road taking on the coachless Raiders. They fired their coach today. The Raiders are 2-point favorites. To me, I think the Raiders win. I mean, the Giants are just horrible. What do you think?
Well, it's 2 of the worst.
It's awful.
By the way, I heard Lincoln Riley is one of the leading candidates for the Raiders job. I just don't understand this at all.
I mean,
but anyway, I guess I'll take the Raiders because it's at home. Going to rally around whoever their new coach is. I don't know.
Well, Daniel Jones is back. Tyrod got hurt, so they had no quarterback. Bad. They had DeVito was their quarterback.
And they lost that game last week. They should have won.
Oh.
And that was exciting. 10-7, baby.
That was worst football games ever played.
We're talking about pro football players.
God, that was awful. But they found a way to lose. They should have won. They should have won the game. Yeah. Dan says if Jones is in, Giants win. I don't know. I don't know.
It's not dumb to bet against the Raiders. That's for sure.
No. And I don't think Daniel. Now, listen, he makes a big difference compared to DeVito, but I think Jones versus Tyrod Taylor, it's kind of the same.
They just as well have Danny DeVito.
That's what he looked like. My God. And I may be wrong. I'm not sure that they got. I'm not going to say it because I can't remember. It's been too long, and I've been focused on other things. But holy shit! I mean,
this is a good game.
He was horrible. All right. Yeah, this is a really good one. So the next two are actually pretty good.
Yeah, they are.
Cowboys and the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles are 3-point favorites. I think this is a game kind of like LSU and Alabama. I just think the Eagles are tougher than the Cowboys. What do you think?
Oh, they're much tougher.
Yep.
And they're ready for this one. Everybody hates Dallas. The Eagles are going to win this one. I think they were just playing around last week, and they figured out a way how to beat Washington. Washington played really well. But in the end, the Eagles won.
Yep.
And I think they're ready for this game. Dallas doesn't win games like this. Give me the Eagles.
All right. Eagles for both of us. I'm with you. I'm going to take the Eagles here. I'm really starting to get high on Cincinnati again.
Yeah.
Now let's see. Don't let me down. They host the Bills this week. Cincinnati's -2. I'm on the Bengals. I'm not a believer in the Bills. What do you think about this one?
The Bengals schedule's tough. They have a tough schedule.
Yep.
And if they can get through that was just a huge win for them last week. Huge to go out there and win, even though the Niners are kind of banged up and not playing very well.
Yeah.
That was a big win. This would even be bigger if they can get this one. They've got it turned around. They look like they're back to playing the way, or Burrow looks like he's back to where he was. Give me the Bengals to win it.
Me too. Like I said, I'm going to go Bengals. I think they're going to be pretty. I don't know. They kind of seem like they're doing the same thing they did last year, starting to get going a little bit.
Yep.
Like I said, I'm not a believer in the Bills yet, or still. So I'll take Cincinnati. And finally, the one we've all been waiting for, the comedy of errors, the Los Angeles Chargers. They take that show on the road to go against maybe the worst 4-3 team in the history of football, the New York Jets. This should be a slobber knocker, as JR would say. Who you got, Chargers or Jets?
Here you got a team with twice the talent the Jets have.
Yeah.
And you're a 3-point favorite.
And I'm telling you right now, I'm picking the Jets.
I am too. No question about it.
I'm picking the Jets. And I think the Jets are horrible. I'm picking them.
They're not any good. They should have lost to the Giants last week. They had 7 points.
They're horrible. It was horrible. The game was horrible.
I mean, the Chargers should be a 10-point favorite in this game because the Chargers ought to be 5-2 instead of 3-4 with the talent they got.
Yeah.
And I don't know. They should win the game. They're so much better, but can't take them.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Yeah, I know.
Can't do it.
I'm with you. I'm taking the Jets. I cannot take the Chargers ever.
No.
So, especially as a favorite. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to challenge you here. Let's look at the
Okay.
Chargers. Now, they lost to the Dolphins. That's not a bad loss.
No, it is at home.
Titans.
That's a bad loss.
That's a bad loss. They beat the Vikings. That's a good win, actually.
Yeah.
Snuck by the way. This Cowboys game was a joke.
They should have won that game.
They had like 30 chances.
Times.
Yeah. They had 30 chances to win that one.
Yeah.
Kansas City, that's not a bad loss. And then they beat the Bears. So, yeah, you flipped 2 games.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they're 5-2, like you said. Yeah.
And that's about where they need to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you got the Jets, and there's the Packers are on there, and there's winnable games.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I mean,
they're going to play their way into their usual 8-9, 9-8, scrambling to win the playoffs.
Yep.
Or make it to the playoffs.
Yeah. So it's definitely gonna be a weird Sunday until you get to those late games for sure. Yeah, Dennis is right. With the Chargers, you just flip a coin.
Yeah. That's about right.
All right. We did it. Well, let's see. Breeders, is there any Breeders' Cup news?
This has just been a wash for me this year. I was all over Forte.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talking about the Derby.
Yep. Kentucky Derby. And then he can't go. And that killed it for me. I didn't have a backup. And I was all over Arcangelo. I really have gotten to where I love this horse.
Yep.
And now he's out.
Yep.
And I don't like any of the rest of them as a solid choice. I don't like Arabian Night that well, but I got to pick him.
Yep. Is that who you ended up with?
Because I like Saudi Crown, but I don't think he's quite good enough. You know, he's one-dimensional. I don't know whether he can hold on and win. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about him going that distance. And then, the practical move situation.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, not good.
And I've been thinking about it a lot because, we just keep taking these hits and that's that thoughts on that. Boy, I don't know where to go there. I don't really want to get into it too much, but I just feel like we have, I don't know. I don't know with y'all that are in the chat saw magic after what happened to Practical Move.
Yeah, let's go back to Practical Move real quick, and then we'll do the.
I thought his video summed up how all of us at Racing Dudes feel about horses. We are animal lovers, and I've said this before. There's a lot of people in horse racing, and I'm talking mainly owners. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about the horse. Guys, that is an issue that we need to look into because you've got I'm talking about the guys that own these high dollar horses, these $1 million horses. They want a return on their investment.
Yeah.
They want these horses to run. And the trainers are torn because they want the owners so they could give them these kind of horses. And I really believe there's a lot of owners that aren't animal lovers. They don't give a shit if the horse breaks down. I really believe that. And I'm not blaming the owners of what happened to Go Rocket Ride. I don't know what happened there. The other thing a lot of people don't understand, and maybe they do, with a horse, their legs mean everything to their ability to survive. Because you got 1,000-pound animal that's standing on very small legs. If you've ever looked at their legs, their lower legs are very small.
Yeah.
Not like an elephant's legs. And when you run as hard as they do, breakdowns are going to occur. It's just going to.
Yeah.
And they just, when a horse lays down, which we don't see a horse laying down that much, he can't get back up with broken legs. He can't survive.
Yeah.
And it's just part of it when they break down. But I mean, if I'm wrong, just step right in. I just think there's a lot of owners that don't care about the horse.
Well, okay. You're going to have to let me talk for a minute because there's a lot I have to say. And you're right, is what I'll start with. 1,000% you are right. And I have a friend that he's texting me blaming a track and he's blaming Hissa. By the way, this is a good friend and I'm not meaning anything bad towards this person. He's blaming Hissa. He's blaming all these tracks.
He has an opinion and he has a right to it.
And I get it. And I told him, I said, here's the deal. It's happening everywhere. Churchill, Saratoga, Santa Anita. It's not the tracks. Okay.
And it's the best tracks in the country.
It's us. We're pushing the damn horses way too hard. Period. It's us. Whether us means the owners or the trainers or a combination of both or one or the other, it's us. Horse racing is the problem. Here's the deal. There's a hell of a lot of trainers out there. When they have a breakdown, it is a shocking thing. It kills them. It sets their lives back.
It does.
Talking about the one that trains for me, he has like one every 3 or 4 years.
It kills him.
Because he doesn't push them. He doesn't run them when they have problems.
Right.
That's the issue, folks. Period.
It is. Period.
They're getting pushed way too hard. Now, I want to comment on something else. We were attacked. Okay. I want to be clear about something. I got off Twitter because of this kind of stuff. Okay. I don't care that some unnamed person gives you shit on Twitter. That's just that's just what it is, right? It doesn't bother me. I don't think anything of it. We have a guy on our team, Curtis, Magic, however you want to call him, who has done a better job than anybody in this industry covering the Breeders' Cup the last week in the mornings. He's been absolutely fantastic. He's been on the roof of Santa Anita every day, helping FanDuel TV spot horses, and then he does reports for us. We were attacked by a colleague, Teresa Gennaro. You can look her up on Twitter. We were attacked by her because Magic, who was standing on the roof of Santa Anita, crying because he filmed the horse dying, practical move.
I didn't show it.
And her comment to us was, I don't think it's right. Something like, I don't have it in front here. You know what? Let me pull it up so I don't misquote this person. I've never really been so mad in all my life. Is what I'm going to say at a person. I'm so mad at this person, Teresa Gennaro. I am so mad at you. If you hear this, it's unbelievable. Number one, I'm off social media, so I didn't see it, but this was sent to me 5 times. We posted a video. Magic is crying on the roof of Santa Anita.
He had to get off there.
He had to get off of it. He was so upset.
He was so upset.
And first of all, there were a few people that were making fun of him for crying. Hey,
that's ridiculous.
You guys are awful, but look, at least it's not a colleague. At least it's not a person trying to be official. Her comment to this horse is dead. This guy has just seen this horse die on the track. Her comment is, if you have to write something like seemingly collapse, perhaps wait until you can post verified information with certainty. Yeah. He's on the roof.
He saw it.
He saw it happen. He filmed it. That is the worst comment we've ever gotten from anybody. I was so mad at her for this. And here's the deal. She's got something against us. I don't know what it is. I met this person in person once. Okay. And when I met, somebody introduced me to her, and I thought, oh, she doesn't like us. This might be difficult, right? Because she's made little comments before. None this bad, not even close. But she's made comments before, and it's like, I don't think she likes us. I don't know what it is. Met her in person once, nice as could be. Nice as could be. We talked to her for a long time. I mean, I thought, okay, maybe she didn't really know us. Blah, blah, blah. To make that kind of comment, that is horrific. That is horrific to do that. I'm so upset with this person. And again, if you want to be a troll on Twitter, I'm not talking about her, but other people that just there to troll people, whatever.
Yeah.
If you're a colleague and you do that, that is bullshit. And that is wrong. And here's the deal. If you private message us something like that, that's one thing.
That's right.
You're doing that to bully us. And she won't admit that. That's a bullying tactic. That's all that is. That's trying to make us look bad. And the sick thing is people liked that comment.
Yeah,
we got a guy on the roof at Santa Anita trying to report information. He's in tears. She comments on that, and people are liking it.
I know.
What is wrong with people? It's sickening. And by the way, here's what pisses me off the most. Bree's talking about the DRF story. They reported Go Rocket Ride was dead. He's not. Is he in big trouble? He's in big trouble. Okay. Sure. But he's not dead. DRF reported that he was dead. Now, am I going to get on Twitter and call them out on it? No. But is it wrong? Absolutely. But I'm not going to make a public thing about it. I'm just not. It's not the best thing to do. But here's the deal. Do you see her commenting on how bad that is? No. Do you know why? Because she bullies people like us. Period. Yeah. That's the most unprofessional comment we've ever received on Twitter, ever. And we've been called every name in the book. I've never been more mad at a person in my life. I cannot stand when people are nice to your face and they do this to you. That is the worst type of person. You should be fucking ashamed of yourself. Yep. I hope you hear this. I'm so mad at this person. It's unbelievable. And that's my guy on the roof that is doing better than anybody in the industry.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody. He's outdoing everybody. And I got great respect for most people, and they're doing a great job. There's a lot of people. Mm-hmm. He's in there. He gets up at 4 a.m. Mm-hmm. He leaves his family. He leaves his child. He's out there spotting horses. Mm-hmm. And this is what you say.
This is what he gets.
Go to hell. That's my comment back to you. I'm not on Twitter, but I'll tell you right now, I own this damn site. Don't you ever comment to us again. That's and I'm done with it. That's it for me. But back to the story. The Go Rocket Ride thing it's terrible that they reported it. I don't know who told them. I don't know how that got screwed up, but
Yeah. and
As
he
of right
lost-
now, Go Rocket Ride is alive, but I have no idea how
yeah.
that's going to go.
They before they put a story out like that, they need to make 100% sure. So whatever their source was must have been one they really trusted. You know,
And here's the other thing: you people that think he's fake. I mean, that is
that
awful.
is ridiculous.
Awful.
I'll just say this right here. If everyone in horse racing cared about horses as much as every single one of us people on racing dudes does, we would not be having this shit. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's the issue. It's nothing but that. That's the issue.
I just, and again, I got off Twitter for this reason, and I'll say it again. Too many people really nice to my face and then do this online.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not a real
hiding
world.
behind-
I don't need this shit, right?
They're hiding behind online. I mean, that's
Exactly.
what they do.
And
That's what makes it so dangerous.
the sick thing is, like, Teresa Gennaro, I don't have any problem with her. Like, I respect what she does. I respect her as a writer. I respect her her work. She does a really good job.
I mean, are people
What
insinuating?
it's just like, what have we ever done to you?
Well, I don't know about her, but the thing that pisses me off the most is people commenting negatively on Magic and Tears.
I mean, that's just people.
Well, that's totally wrong.
To be honest, that's just people that just don't have anything better to do.
Yeah, but how could you possibly say that about a human being? That's ridiculous shit, and that's what's wrong with this country.
In a lot of ways. I mean, that's again.
Of course, we know Magic better than anybody else, or you do. And and by the way, Magic, if you're listening, I was feeling for you, buddy. I was feeling for you. I would have felt the same way.
Well, I texted him after I saw it, and I said, that was great. I mean, you're doing a great job.
And yeah, but we know him better than others. But to even insinuate something bad about that,
Awful.
I mean,
awful. And again,
awful.
There's people on social media, and that's just kind of what they do, and I'm totally accepting that. But for another professional to do that, awful.
Yeah.
And here's the deal: if we would have said, "Practical move may or may not be dead. Click here to see it." Hey, awful. That'd be awful.
Yeah.
This is a guy standing on a roof just trying to get the information out.
And he sat right there, saw it live.
Awful. You are an awful person. Period.
Okay. I found this on the web for right there, saw it live and in person.
Hang on.
What did you do?
Anything that just does that once every 3 months.
Yeah.
But it's terrible. Let's get back to we don't know why horses have a heart attack. I guess is what happened. I guess I can't. I don't know why that happens. I don't know.
Kevin, I can't believe if that's again, I'm not on it. I just can't believe this has happened.
No, but
I can't believe somebody would do that. This is sick.
There are a lot of shitty people in this world.
That's horrific.
That have no empathy for anybody but themselves.
Yep.
And that's where we're losing our way. We don't care about anybody but ourselves.
Horrific if you're doing that.
Yeah. Yep.
And
but we love horses.
And, I reached out to a couple of other people that I know that work in other medias, and I said, do people in your little media bubbles, because we all have little, horse racing is a little media bubble. I think, and again, I want to be very clear. A lot of the horse racing media, they're nice folks, really nice.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem, but there's a small group that do this kind of stuff that kind of act like we're a little bit better than you. So we're going to tell you what to do because we kind of control this. They don't. First of all, I could tell you a story on that if you want. But secondly, does this happen everywhere? And I was talking to somebody who kind of covered a local news. I'm not going to say where it was because I don't want to, I don't know if people They're like, no, I mean, we all get along. And, I don't know why we have this small group of people that think they're better than everybody else in our media.
Well, that's the way it is everywhere. So
I guess so. Yeah,
it is.
I don't know. Anyway, I was just beyond belief by it.
Yeah.
I guess that's all I could say. I'm sitting here just like, I just can't even believe what's happening. So anyway.
No, I almost didn't. I'd seen what had happened and I saw his video and I said, I don't really want to watch this, because I could tell when the minute he came on, how it was going to go, but I watched it anyway. So,
but I'm glad that people are getting joy out of horses that are dead.
Yeah, me too.
That's good.
Yeah. I don't know.
And I'm glad she's scrolling our Twitter to gotcha now moment. Like, God damn.
I hope you feel better.
Get a life.
Yeah. I hope you feel better about yourself.
I mean, are you going to sleep better at night knowing that you commented on a video of a guy crying because he just saw a horse died?
Yeah.
Because you are trying to get gotcha moment. I mean, are you like, what? How are you living? Why are you doing this? And again, if you would have emailed me and said, hey, I got a problem with that, I probably would have just been like, okay, yeah, and just kind of ignored it. But to me, if you do it in private, it kind of shows me, well, she does have a problem. Like journalistically, she has a problem with it. That's okay. I'm not going to take it real serious, but it's just her trying to show people, look how like, how
could she have a problem with it anyway?
Well, she's an idiot, but look how like Bush League these guys are. Can you believe this is in our grand sport of horse racing? That's the attitude.
Yeah.
So
it's awful.
But anyway,
hey, now calm down.
Well, and like Shotty said, I hardly ever get mad.
Yeah, this is good therapy. It's therapy. Very therapeutic.
I really and truly mean this. Not do I get like, annoyed or whatever. Yeah. But fighting mad, barely ever. So congratulations, Teresa. A person, again, I do respect for you, your work in horse racing. I think you do a really good job. You've made me about as mad as I've ever been in my life. So congratulations. Maybe that's what you wanted. So, all right, that's it. Anything else?
No, I think we ended on quite a deal there. That Magic needs to kind of put this last 20 minutes on a little video there for.
Well, I'll tell you this. I definitely think Magic is great, and I think he's awesome, and I think he's doing a tremendous job. And I would take one Magic any day over 10 of anybody else out there. So that's what I'll end it. And if you want to make fun of him for having a heart, well, that's more on you than it is on him.
That's right.
So, yeah. All right. Anything else?
Nope. I agree totally with what you said.
All right. We're going to get out of here. All right. Breeders' Cup wagering guide. I don't know. Hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully tonight. One of the two. Got to be done before we get on the plane. So
I've got mine in, guys. I got my picks in. So if you're sweating that, don't. Mine are in.
Everybody's got them in. So we'll see what happens there. Breeders' Cup blinkers off tomorrow, Thursday. Probably be, I think we land at 4 Pacific. So probably, I don't know, probably 8 or 9 o'clock Central Time, I'd say tomorrow. We'll do a live blinkers off from the Airbnb, and then we'll be right into Breeders' Cup. So everybody have a good rest of your day. We'll be right back here on the channel tomorrow with more stuff, and everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be good. All right, guys. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you here next week for Do2Bet Sports.
This is Do2Bet Sports. Do2Bet Sports, it's your favorite show. Do2Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Do2Bet Sports, time to change your approach with Aaron Holzman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.
Well, the Associated Press is full of shit.